Hello, everyone, and welcome to a Mulberry Conversation. My name is Kelsey Daly, and I am the Senior Marketing and Events Specialist here at Mulberry. A little bit about Mulberry. We are a full-service recruiting agency serving the Pacific Northwest and the San Francisco Bay Area. Our specialty areas include human resources, administrative office, finance, accounting, payroll, and operations. I encourage you to check out our website at mulberrytalent.com to see previously recorded Mulberry conversations and to view our full suite of service offerings and current job opportunities. So let's dive in. Today, we are joined by our founder, Lauren Francis and Jill Freeman. Jill has spent over 20 years on HR teams for large employers. She's been involved in the full spectrum of total rewards, including health plan design, benefits supplier management, compliance, compensation, and leaves programs for Geldwin, Les Schwab Tires, and Nike. Her experience gave her firsthand insight into the value of effective and engaging benefits communication on the overall employee experience. For the past 5 years, she's repurposed her benefits background to support a talented creative team generating benefits and compensation communication for a Fortune 500 client. She also works on an HR and benefits consulting team with public and private sector clients. We're so excited to have Jill join us today. So before we get started, we have a portion of today's conversation where we will try to stump Jill. So we would like this to be super interactive. So if you have any questions related to open enrollment that you're trying to solve, please drop them in the chat or Q&A window, and Jill will toss out suggestions. So without further ado, it's my pleasure to introduce Jill and Lauren.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Mulberry. And Jill, thanks so much for coming on. Jill was part of our program. What night was it? 2020? Yeah,
I think so. Yeah,
exactly. Jill and I met. Gosh, how long has it been? 2011. Oh my gosh.
at least.
Yes. And Jill was knocking, we just were having conversation. It just made sense to, right as open enrollment season is here, to bring Jill back on. And we are Orange Theory friends, and we're friends. And we're great admirer of your work and what you do. The investment to organizations and employees in benefit communications has a huge impact on an organization and the culture of an organization. And this is a very important topic. And we're so happy that you're here to share your knowledge and expertise. So take it away, Jill.
Thanks, Lauren.
Sure.
And thanks to the Mulberry team too. A lot of work goes in behind the scenes to make these things happen. And I'm so appreciative of the work you do. So I'm gonna jump right in my presentation as
There it is.
just a quick little nugget here on how I got here into benefits communication. Again, I spent a career on the benefits delivery side working for large employers, and I kept having employees come in with really great questions about their benefits or their out-of-pocket costs or how they could take a leave of absence. And so really I was able to pivot my benefits experience on the employer side into creating engaging benefits communication. And while I do know benefits might be boring to some, they are not boring to me because I've had such great experiences seeing benefits make a difference in people's lives. Having employees come in and ask me, how do the benefits work? Their wife has breast cancer. And being able to help them and understand and navigate their out-of-pocket costs and take a leave of absence. So those experiences have really helped inform my benefits creative communication and reaching employees and their families where they are. Couple things I think to consider about benefits. I know when I would try on the employer side to create benefits communication, I had to get budget and build a business case for creating communication. So something to consider is benefits are a big investment for employers. As Lauren mentioned, the Bureau of Labor Statistics is telling us this summer that private employers are spending just over $25,000 a year on each employee, just on benefits. And when leaders are asked about how effective are those benefits in supporting employees, 53% of company leaders, or 53% of that annual spend, company leaders feel is being wasted on just simply employees being confused, not able to find the benefits when they need them. So when we do the math on this, that's a huge amount of benefit spend being wasted. And I think where benefits communication, the business case is really strong, is around closing that gap. So what if employees were able to find information they needed more effectively when they needed them? What if employees and their families could make choices in their benefits that were really important to them? So I think that's, if you need some help ever creating a business case on why benefits communication is needed, it's found in this waste of the spend. Couple things we all know, benefits can be confusing. They have their own jargon. Sometimes they're not very intuitive to employees and their families. It's tough to connect the dots. How do all of these point solution programs fit together effectively? And really, how just the delivery and access to benefits information, I think, can be really an obstacle to effectively getting benefits into the hands of employees. So I just want to walk through a couple of quick tips. If you're in the throes of open enrollment right now and thinking about what you'd like to do differently and how you could promote your benefits, one of the things that we're finding to be really effective is supporting employees when they're choosing their benefits during open enrollment, and then when they need to go use their benefits throughout the rest of the year. And I was thinking about an analogy for this experience where, and I'm going to date myself with this reference, but I used to love when the Sears catalog would arrive on the front porch and it would get tossed up there. I don't know if I know I'm missing whole generations here that have never even seen the Sears catalog, but imagine this. It used to be printed. It was just hundreds of pages long. And I would run out to the front porch, grab that thing, and flip right to the toy section, of course. I'm a child of the 70s. I wanted Barbies, board games, doll, Baby Alive. And so I think that's a great example of how benefits work too. You might throw the Sears catalog of benefits information to your employees, but they're really only interested in those pieces of benefits information that are relevant to them. So maybe they're really interested in pre-tax benefits through HSAs and FSAs, or maybe they're only really interested in how can they enroll in additional life insurance for themselves and their families. So I think the benefit of presenting information to them just around choosing their benefits is really helpful, because if you stick in with that FSA information, you stick in how to file an FSA claim, that's not exactly relevant when they're trying to choose their benefit. So that's just a little insight on choose versus use and how you can make your benefits communication a little bit more relevant during open enrollment. And certainly slim back your Sears catalog size benefit guides and make your printing cost less and your mailing cost less. And then another quick note is getting home. With the interesting part for me about benefits communication is, unlike other HR total rewards benefit or communication, benefits include 50% or more of your audience for benefits doesn't even work for your company, right? Their spouse, partners, dependents. So if you're targeting employee communication only during open enrollment, you're really missing out on a huge portion of your audience that needs some great information too. My last point here is really around don't bury the lead. And we steal this from journalism, kind body. But when you use those in a subhead or a headline, they may not really connect to employees and their families on what they can do for them. Like Hinge, I'm a huge fan, but it's hard to understand exactly what it's going to do for me or why I would want to sign up for it. if the headline instead said virtual physical therapy from the comfort of your living room, that's something I need at this age on the wrong side of 50. So I think that bringing those headlines to life in a relatable manner is a quick win in trying to promote your benefits. And then I just encourage everyone, get creative. Find those channels that are reaching your employees today. I did a fun project recently for a firm that wanted to promote benefits a little bit more effectively to their employee resource groups. So I said, gosh, tell me, what are the groups focused on? And it was neat. So for example, they had rolled out an identity theft protection program, as well as some additional fertility benefits and egg freezing. And so we really dug deep on providing communication specifically to the family employee resource group. So they had relatable information they could talk to their members about, and really well received. So that was kind of fun. So also I would encourage everyone, communicate year round. Again, with useful tips on how to use benefits. I think you can take the mystery out of using benefits. A great example I've seen recently is firms across the country rolling out amazing mental health and behavioral health point solution programs to their employees. And then the employees are thinking, gosh, okay, I have talk therapy, I have in person, I can do virtual. And I think if you can create some kind of navigation on the front end and support employees with, gosh, what would you like to do? And then route them to talk to peers about healthy eating behaviors or getting active, you can use this service. So if you route employees and really support them in finding benefits that are relevant for them, you can take some of that guesswork out through your year-round communication and really simplify the benefits experience in a nutshell. And then I really encourage folks to measure how effective your benefits communication is resonating. And this isn't as tricky as it sounds. So there are ways to embed tracking links in a non-Big Brother way to support understanding if your information is being used and how you're reaching people effectively. And then there's also just listen to your HR teams. You can get anecdotal feedback. I know one of our clients said, gosh, annual enrollment went really well because we didn't have any appeals. Nobody wanted to try to get back on the plan or wasn't aware that they missed their open enrollment or annual enrollment window. So neat things like that really, I think, help you continue to build that business case internally to get some budget to support benefits communication. So that's me in a nutshell. I'm just out here, trying to make benefits a little cooler and more exciting and a little less boring. Happy to take any questions, or we can.
Something occurred to me when you were talking. Are there metrics on people that don't use the benefits at all because it's just too overwhelming and they just don't go there? Or the generational gap with people, so much is online and so much technology is used now when we utilize our benefits that they just don't use the benefits because it's just either they're uncomfortable or feel like it's too complicated?
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot of great information. I don't have anything specifically off the top of my head, but you can see in those dollars wasted statistics that we're seeing coming out of the Jelly Vision work on surveys that if you think 53% of your benefit spend is wasted because employees and their families are confused about their benefits, man, it's time to do something about that and simplify this whole thing. Plus, a little video never hurt. Benefits fun.
Right. Sure.
We had a question come in from Jennifer. She said, any new trends you are seeing in the benefit world that ERs are looking into for OE?
Yeah, I think, Jennifer, if you're talking in terms of point solutions or benefit programs, just a lot of focus around support for mental and behavioral health, especially children. So I've seen some great programs being implemented to support children on the spectrum, ABA therapy, additional help for parents too, that are trying to figure out now that kids are back in school, or I've heard people talk about how they had a pandemic baby and maybe the baby hasn't had the same level of socialization, and what from a mental health perspective, what resources are available, and employers are trying to meet that need, which I think is really great. Huge support around fertility and travel benefits. If certain procedures are not covered in your state, you can get other places and where to go for help. Support for what we're seeing as centers of excellence. So, you need a knee replacement done, man, it's good to know that there are places that specialize in that and that your recovery time might be less because the quality of care is just amazing in those locations. And employers are covering the travel costs to get you there and get you home and do the follow-up here. So really neat, I think I'm calling them kind of flexible benefits that meet employees where they are with problems they're trying to solve.
That's great. And then we had another one come in. Lindsay says, any tips on how to get EEs to elect benefits before the deadline? Can be so tiring and time consuming to chase people down and remind them of the urgency.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. Something we tried that had an amazing success rate was include with email pushes about open enrollment, include a calendar invite. So if you clicked on it, it blocked your calendar. It put a reminder towards the end of annual enrollment that you needed to enroll. And we had so much because we could track the uptake of employees selecting the calendar and getting it onto their own Outlook or systems, that we've also sent a nudge reminder only to those people who hadn't enrolled towards the close, and did it in kind of a funny way. We love procrastinators and we understand you. So here's your reminder. We want you to enroll and to make the most of your benefit. Each of those people who haven't enrolled yet was really surprisingly effective in getting enrollment. We saw a little spike in enrollment in the last couple of days, which was fun to see.
Oh, that's so fun to hear. I love those ideas.
These are great questions. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, for sure. So what are the best practices around open enrollment benefit communications, and how do we help employees make benefit decisions which are right for them and their families? Because you're right, so many people you're not thinking about the rest of the family, and to bring those invisible people in or make them visible and to make it more engaging for
robust to reaching the whole audience. I think there's some really neat ways, and especially now with all the digital tools that are available, I've seen fun for benefits to be collected. Fun virtual benefit fairs where you can have all your vendors come, record it, and then make it available to the whole audience. And so what's nice about that is families could take a look at the virtual fair and see, oh gosh, my deductible's going up, but so is the contribution from my employer into my HSA. So I'm really not off. I think it's also approaching benefits in that way where, gosh, your deductible went up, but we're also going to increase the contribution to your HSA. And we want to make sure you understand how your deductible gets funded, and really addressing some of those bigger concerns, which we see the GoFundMe's, right, for people who are trying to raise money for healthcare. And I think, gosh, I know they have good benefits and it's a deductible so high, and helping them understand how you can quilt together some voluntary benefit programs, plus make sure you're getting all your HSA contributions, if there's a wellness incentive program, help them connect the dots so that they're funding their deductible effectively.
And we had 2 questions come in. Jennifer's wondering, how do you find out about how to do virtual benefit fairs? I've never heard of this and it sounds super cool.
Oh, yeah. So Jennifer, you can talk to your carrier. So if you have Regent or Cigna or something, they do these all the time and they love to be able to promote benefits effectively in front of your audience. And you can host them through a Teams meeting, do a quick agenda, and have each vendor come at different times. And I also encourage you, super secret opportunity here, hit up your vendors for free swag. So they've got a lot of fun things out there, from water bottles and fanny packs, and employees love free stuff. And promoting those at a virtual, come to the virtual fair, we'll ship you some free swag, or if you're working remotely, or hand them out at the office or the manufacturing site.
Perfect. Jennifer says, love it. Thank you for the idea.
Oh, there.
And then we had another question, which is a great one. Do you have any experience or tips you can share for communicating benefits to employees of a multilingual workforce?
Oh, yeah, that's a good one, and definitely a growing need. So I think there's great translation services out there that are available, and definitely encourage you to survey the need first. We've seen everything from Creole to Burmese, Spanish, French. So I think it's, again, trying to figure out if you're able to grasp the need within your audience, and getting certain information translated for sure is super helpful.
So how do you utilize those translation services for that purpose? Do they, because oftentimes we have requests for people when it's open enrollment that can come in with a language skill that can help their employee population. And
Sure.
that's not always easiest to find. And so what you just mentioned is we'd like to be able to share that translation service with our employers.
Yeah, there's several, and I can certainly follow up and send some ones that I know of that have worked great. So put your print materials or your website into other languages, and they'll also provide, real support too. And don't forget about your EAPs. Them with employers often have translation support services available, because they will do triage, on-site trauma care support if a horrible accident occurs or something. And so they also can support translation for open enrollment materials often.
Gosh, that's so helpful. And I know you have to log off. You have a hard stop at 12:25 today, but we are so grateful to have you. And if anyone has questions for Jill, or you want to reach Jill, let us know, and we can send her information so that maybe some of your additional questions could get answered. Thank you so much, Jill, for coming on, and everyone else, thanks for joining us today.